Hello, we are the group Cats Go That Way.
Our objective is if someone flicks the canvas but not a sprite on the canvas, then all of the cats change their heading and speed in concordance with the flick.
Here we are in App Inventor. First things first, we have to grab the event handler that everything's going to fall under. So you'll find this under the canvas, and the event handler we're going to get is when canvas 1 flung. So we're going to grab that onto the screen.
Now we're going to go to control and get an if then, and we have to add an else to it because we want to say if something happens, then do this, else do this.
Under the if, we're going to get the get flung sprite parameter from the when canvas 1 flung. Now we have to just tell what the event's going to be.
And we're going to go back to control and get it for each item in list. Now we're going to duplicate this, but we change this in a second. So change the word item to cat and go to the top and to the list global all cats and get global all cats and plug it in. Now instead of doing this all over, we're just going to duplicate the updated block and plug it into the else.
The next thing we're going to do is jump down to the next for each cat in list block, leaving the top one open for now because we're going to make a procedure that'll go in there later. In the second for each cat in list do block, we're going to drag an if then statement into there again, and this is where our big logic train for this is going to come in, because this is how we're going to decide if one cat image sprite has been clicked or if it's just swipe the canvas. So the way we're going to do this is by grabbing an AND block from the logic column, and then on the left side of that we're going to put a equal sign from the math. What we're trying to do here is make an area around the image sprite where if you click it, it does this. If you don't click that area, then it's going to do something else. In this logic train, we're going to specify what happens when you don't click the area. To do this, we're going to want to grab the image sprite X of component. Now this is going to be under the any component on the left side, and you have to go to any image sprite. Now, once we have that, we have to get what component we're using, and that's where we're going to use the cat that we renamed from list earlier. That goes all into the left side of the equals. Now we need to go back up to the math and grab a plus to go on the right side. The plus that we're going to add to is going to be the X from the canvas flung header. So we're going to go up there, grab that, and then we're going to add 10 to that, so that there is an area of 10 where if you don't hit, then this will happen. So to do that, we're going to need to change the equals to in that math to not equals to. For the other side of this AND, we want to just duplicate that whole equals to and replace it on the right side as well. However, we want to change the plus sign to a minus sign so that we're also getting X and minusing 10 to make sure there is a area around where we tap where if the cat, the image sprite, is within it, this event doesn't happen.
Now we're going to create two procedures which specify what happens when you do and don't click on an image sprite. So first, go to the procedures and pull out a procedure block and name it nothing. Inside this block, we're literally going to leave it blank. Do that again, but name this procedure change places. And we are going to add 3 inputs to the procedure. So just click on the blue square in the upper left corner and add 3 inputs. We are going to change the name of these inputs. The first one is going to be cat. The second one is going to be speed. And the last one is going to be heading. Now we're going to go back to any component and scroll all the way down. And it's going to be of any image sprite. And we're just going to click the set image sprite enabled one because we can change it. So click on it and drag it out and plug it into change places procedure. Now change the word enabled to heading. Duplicate the block and change the word to speed. Now we're going to hover over cat and get cat and plug it into the of component space for both of them. Now hover over heading and get heading and plug it into the heading set image sprite. Do the same for speed. Now that's pretty much it. We just have to call the procedures.
Now that we've got all this made, it is just as simple as calling our procedures that we've made in the when canvas 1 flung. I'm going to do some rearranging of the windows here to make it easier for you to see. And then we just go to procedure call nothing for the top one, and then procedure call change places to the second one.
So now if you look at our entire block, it says when canvas 1 flung, if it is the get flung sprite, for each cat in list, do nothing. Else, if it is not equal to the image sprite plus or minus 10, call change places, which changes the speed and heading in concordance with the flick.